You think you know everything about James Bond? Think again. There's a whole treasure trove of 007 secrets hiding in plain sight, and I'm about to blow the doors off this intelligence operation. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Let's talk about something that flew completely under my radar until recently, and honestly, I'm kind of annoyed it took me so long to discover it, but it's called MI6 Confidential, and no, it's not some shady government publication that's going to get me on a watch list, although at this point, who knows what lists I'm already on. MI6 Confidential is basically the holy grail for James Bond superfans. And I mean super fans, super duper fans. We're talking about people who don't just watch the movies, they dissect them, analyze them, argue about them at dinner parties until significant others threaten to leave. And I find these people so entertaining because they always talk about how Timothy Dalton was not the best James Bond, when we know conclusively, subjectively, and objectively that he was. You know, that kind of stuff. Here's the deal. MI6 Confidential is a limited edition magazine series that goes deep, and I mean deep, behind the scenes of the James Bond franchise. We're talking interviews with directors, producers, stunt coordinators, the guy who polishes the Aston Martin's hood ornament. They cover everything from the classic films to the modern Craig era, and they don't hold back. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, oh great, another cash grab merchandise thing, let me stop you right there. This isn't some glossy fan magazine with pictures you've seen 1,000 times on Google Images. This is legitimate inside baseball, the kind of stuff that makes you go, wait, that's how they did that scene, or holy crap, I never knew that about the movie. Each release typically includes a few issues at once, and they're focused on specific films or themes within the Bond universe. So you might get a bundle covering, say, the Timothy Dalton era, which would have been the best era, or a deep dive into the Daniel Craig films, which were fine. Or even specific aspects like the villains, the Bond girls, or the gadgets. Yeah, gadgets. Because we all secretly wanted the exploding pens, right? I know I did. I know you did. Let me give you some good examples of the kind of information you can get from these magazines, because this is where it really gets saucy. Did you know that during the filming of The Living Daylights, which, by the way, is one of the best Bond movies ever, Timothy Dalton actually performed a lot of his own stunts? The dude actually hung off the back of a cargo plane at 10,000 feet. No CGI, no nonsense, just pure old school Bond badassery. That's how badass Timothy Dalton was. The magazine goes into detail about how they coordinated that. The whole sequence was going to require insane logistics. Or how about this? Did you know that during Casino Royale, Daniel Craig actually insisted on doing the parkour chase scene himself, even though he'd never done parkour before? He trained for weeks with Sebastian Foucan, the guy he's chasing in the movie, who happens to be one of the founders of freerunning. The behind-the-scenes details about how they shot that opening sequence are absolutely fascinating. They literally traveled to Madagascar, shut down a construction site, and then just went for it. The number of takes, the near misses, the oh my god, we almost killed him moments, they're all in there. And the dynamics of that character could have been totally different. MI6 Confidential explores these alternate realities and what-if scenarios that make you appreciate the final product even more. And speaking of Goldfinger, did you know that the famous Aston Martin DB5, beautiful car by the way, wasn't actually supposed to be the Bond car? It was just one option they were considering. But the moment that car rolled onto the screen with all its gadgets, the machine guns, ejector seat, tire slashers, it became immortal. The magazine details how Q Branch, or rather the prop department, came up with all those modifications and how many of them actually worked on set. Turns out, the ejector seat was basically a carefully choreographed catapult with a dummy. Movie magic, baby. Now, let's talk about License to Kill for a second, because this is another one of my favorites, and that one doesn't get nearly enough love. This was Timothy Dalton's second and final, unfortunately, Bond film, and it was dark, like genuinely dark. Bond goes rogue. There's actual consequences. People get fed to sharks. It was ahead of its time, honestly. I remember a lot of people saying it was kind of gross and over the top, but now it would just be totally mainstream. MI6 Confidential has issues that break down the tonal shift of this film, why it was initially received poorly, and how it's been critically reevaluated over the years. There's interviews with writers about why they wanted to take Bond in this direction, and how they were basically setting up what we'd eventually see in the Craig era decades later. Here's a question for you. What's your favorite Bond film? Drop it in the comments. I want to know. Hey, the magazines also feature never-before-seen photographs. And I'm not talking about publicity stills. I'm talking about candid shots from the set. concept art, storyboards, wardrobe tests, location scouting photos, the works. For a film nerd, the stuff is gold. It's like getting access to the production archives without having to break onto Eon production headquarters, which I assume is heavily guarded. I don't know for sure. So how do you actually get your hands on MI6 Confidential? Well, here's where the limited edition part comes into play. These aren't sold in your average bookstore or on newsstands. You order them directly from their website at mi6confidential.com. They're produced in limited quantities, which means once they're gone, they're gone. No reprints, no second chances. It's very exclusive. You had to be there, which honestly makes them even more appealing. Now let's talk about the cost, because I know you're wondering. These bundles are not cheap, but they're not outrageous either. Depending on what you're ordering and where you're shipping to, you're typically looking at anywhere from around 30 to 60 bucks per bundle, sometimes more for special editions. Yeah, it's more than your standard magazine, but you're getting multiple issues, premium printing, exclusive content, and something that's genuinely collectible. If you're a serious Bond fan, it's worth it. If you're a casual, I watch Bond movies when they're on TV kind of a person, maybe skip it and spend the money on a nice bottle of vodka. Shaken, not stirred, or whatever. Why should I give a damn? For me personally, I'm interested in getting my hands on some of these. Not only do I love the movies, especially the ones that I think are genuinely well crafted, like The Living Daylights and License to Kill, and I liked some of the newer ones too, like Casino Royale was fine. But the fact that the new Bond films come out so infrequently means I need something to feed my obsession in between. What am I supposed to do? Just rewatch Skyfall for the 47th time? I mean, I will, but I'd like fresh content. Immersing myself in more details about these films is incredibly fun. Learning about the creative decisions, the production challenges, the deleted scenes, the alternate takes. It adds layers to the film that I already love, and you'd probably do too. It's like discovering a new room in a house where you've lived for years. Sure, the house was great before, but now there's a new room to explore and do stuff in. So many activities. The magazine also covers the evolution of the franchise, which is fascinating when you think about it. James Bond has been around since 1962. That's over 60 years of cultural shifts, changing attitudes, different political climates, technological advances. How does a character in a franchise stay relevant through all of that? It's pretty amazing, actually. MI6 Confidential explores these themes, looking at how Bond was adapted, sometimes successfully and sometimes not so much. I'm looking at you, Moonraker space shuttle scene, even though I still loved Moonraker. They also do deep dives into the music, which is a huge part of what makes Bond Bond. The theme songs, the scores, the composers, from John Barry to Thomas Newman, from Shirley Bassey to Adele, there's entire issues dedicated to the musical legacy of 007. And here's another question for you. If you could bring back any former Bond actor for one more film, who would it be? Connery? Roger Moore? Timothy Dalton? Yeah, it's Timothy Dalton. That's the right answer. Anyway, one of the things I really appreciate about MI6 Confidential is that it treats the franchise with respect but not blind worship. They're not afraid to discuss the failures alongside the successes. They'll talk about what didn't work in certain films, why certain casting choices were kind of questionable, how some scripts went through development hell. It's honest, which makes the praise for the good stuff feel earned and authentic. There's also a real sense of preservation happening here. The people involved in making these movies, especially the earlier ones, aren't going to be around forever. Getting their stories, their memories, their insights documented into this kind of format is actually pretty important from a film history perspective. 50 years from now, people are going to want to know how Goldfinger was made, and MI6 Confidential is creating that archive. Plus, let's get real, it just looks awesome on your shelf or your coffee table. If you're going to be a Bond nerd, you might as well commit. Get the magazines, display them proudly, and when guests come over and ask about them, you can launch into a 20 or 90-minute explanation of why Timothy Dalton was actually and indisputably the most book-accurate Bond, and watch their eyes glaze over, because they're not real people. They don't really understand Bond. So if you're a Bond fan and you've never heard of MI6 Confidential, now you know. If you're on the fence about whether it's worth it, I'd say if you're passionate about the franchise and want to go deeper than surface level trivia, absolutely check it out. Head over to mi6confidential.com, see what they have available, and then go ahead and treat yourself to a little something something. Life's too short not to indulge in your passions, especially when those passions involve British spies, impossible stunts, and some hot chicks. And who knows, maybe after reading a few issues, you'll have even more appreciation for the films. Maybe you'll catch some details on your next rewatch that you've never noticed before. Maybe you'll become insufferable at parties. I wouldn't know anything about that because I don't go to any parties anymore. Listen, Panda Nation, that's all I've got for you today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into MI6 Confidential, then stick around for the next video because I'm going to talk about something completely different. Maybe I'll talk about Timothy Dalton again, the best Bond ever. Peter Von Panda, out.